Okay, guys, today we're going to continue this series on what's the best way to break into medical sales. Last time we focused on the resume. Today we're going to focus on actually applying and what are the best methods to apply and to also prepare for an interview before you actually have the interview. And the first thing to start off, guys, is to apply to the roles that you're actually qualified for. So when you're reading those requirements, really make sure that you're qualified because it can get very frustrating. I know a lot of people, they like to just spray out their resume, send it to every possible opening and hope that, something sticks and someone just happens to respond to you. This day and age, that's getting tougher and tougher. That doesn't work. Sometimes people can get lucky and someone can reach out because they see something in the individual. But really, you want to make sure that you're applying to the roles that you're qualified for. So make sure when you're reading these requirements that you are a fit for these roles because recruiters get hundreds of resumes for every role. They don't have the time to even respond to every candidate, especially if they're not qualified. So if you're not qualified, you're going to find yourself getting a little disgusted and demotivated because recruiters aren't going to respond and you're going to get aggravated at these recruiters. Meanwhile, it's most of the time they're busy responding to candidates that actually are qualified because they're the ones that they're going to have to send to the hiring manager to be the best representation, that they could send for that role. So read the requirements. Number one, apply to those jobs that you're qualified for. And when you apply, when you send your resume, make sure in the body of the email that you're putting bullet points next to each requirement on why you're a fit. For instance, straight up, if they ask for a 4-year college degree, you put down that you have a bachelor's degree from, the Rutgers University with your major. Answer each requirement with a bullet point underneath that shows why you're a fit. I guarantee you, when you're matching most of those requirements and you're making it easier for that recruiter to see why you're a fit, they're going to respond more to you, and it's also going to increase your chances of getting a position. Because as a recruiter, our job is to make it easier for the hiring managers so they don't have to spend time going through dozens and dozens of candidates that are the right fit for the role. Our job is to send them the top 3 to 5 candidates so they can decipher for themselves who's the best fit and who they want to interview to move on to the next step. Your job as a candidate is to help recruiters, understand why you're the best fit. So the more that you make their job easier and actually give the reasons why quickly, bullet point in the body of the email, I'm telling you that's going to increase your chances of getting responses and also help them get your information over to the hiring manager in a succinct but effective manner. So start making that a habit on each of your applications, and you're going to see a positive effect. Next, when it comes to networking, obviously, if you know someone at a company, that's a big advantage. You want to work with your connections. You want to work with your relationships. If you do know people in the industry, everyone has a friend, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, even a parent. Start there with the people you know and try to leverage your relationships with those individuals to help get you an interview. Because I've seen it so many times. I've worked at companies where on paper, they may not have been the best candidate, but when, someone will reach out to me, even as either a rep or as when I was a manager, it comes off much more effective when someone for the company is sending you their recommendation and say, hey, I think you should interview this candidate. While they don't have all the qualifications on paper, I think they're a great fit because of X, Y, and Z. And they can give some more personal, experiences that they've had with you that can help influence that hiring manager. So, simply start with those individuals first. And when, you're moving on to networking on LinkedIn, you could get overwhelmed and network for months and months and months, contacting every individual on LinkedIn that was willing to take a conversation with you. And you really don't want to waste your time doing that every day, because it can be tedious and really not get you the desired effect. So my suggestion is simply start by contacting people that can get you jobs. Start working with multiple medical recruiters. Make sure they have your resume. Let them know what you're looking for. What your salary requirements are. Maybe even some of the specialties you're interested in. You want to start there first. Next, start with the hiring managers or individuals that are actually making decisions for these openings. So if, company XYZ has an opening and you're reaching out to one of the reps or all the reps there, it's good to get information from them, but if you're just looking for them to help you get a job, you gotta be more focused and actually contact the individuals, be more aggressive and reach out to them, the ones that are actually making the decision, the hiring managers, reaching out to the HR directors or HR personnel that are in charge of getting those resumes to those hiring managers. So just be a little bit more focused. The spraying your resume out, like I said earlier, doesn't work. You want to be more precise in who you're getting your resume to. And lastly, once you do get an actual interview set up, most important things you can do. This helps every candidate. A lot of candidates say they do this. More often than not, I don't see them doing this on every interview. But if you make it a habit, once you get an interview booked, the goal, your work starts that day. Your goal is to have conversations with at least 3 reps or personnel that work with that hiring manager. So if you got an interview with Susan Smith next Wednesday, your goal is to reach out to all the reps and individuals that work with Susan Smith. Because when you have more information about that manager, you're finding out what the manager's key drivers are. And that's very important, because you want to know what to say and what not to say during the interview. And without getting this info from the other reps, you're not going to be fully prepared. It also shows the manager that you are going above and beyond to learn more about Susan Smith or whoever the manager is. And that'll show the manager that that's how you approach your customers. So when you're calling on physicians, you're not just shooting out features and benefits. You're learning about your physician's key drivers, and then you're selling towards those key drivers. Those are what all high-performing sales reps do. And lastly, by having multiple reps speak to the manager about you, you're setting the stage before you even meet the manager that your name is being dropped by multiple reps before you even speak to this manager. So they're going to be looking forward to, who is this individual that I keep hearing about before we're even having this phone call or face-to-face. So you're already putting yourself a step ahead of all the other candidates. So guys, these are just a couple of quick tips, before we actually get into the interview. The next phase of this series is going to be actually focusing on the interview and some of the things, what to say and what not to say, that we'll discuss, which will be coming soon. Feel free to reach out to me with more tips, anything in regards to breaking into medical sales or transitioning from another role. If you're looking for help with resume optimization, interview preparation, or overall career guidance, please shoot me an email at Joe, at reppath, reppath.com, or go to my website, www.reppath.com. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you and helping you guys out. Talk to you soon, guys. Take care.